So we're going to go over the answers and the full solutions for each of the questions in your assignment from last Friday. So this first question here, calculate the area of the circle, and you're also told to take the value of pi to be just 3.14. So that's the rounded value for pi. So we start by always writing down the formula, and of course the area of a circle formula is area equals pi r squared. We're now going to, once you've written your formula, going to substitute into the formula, and if you have a look at this circle, you'll see that the measurement we've been given, the 20 centimetres, goes from the centre out to the edge. So in fact the measurement that we know is the radius. So we know that the radius is 20 centimetres, and the formula for the area of a circle uses the radius, so we don't have to do anything else with that. So the next line of your work, and once you've written area equals pi r squared, in our calculation we're going to be replacing the pi with the 3.14, and for the radius you're putting in 20. So that's first line working. So we're doing 3.14 times 20 squared. But what does that actually mean? We're going to have to do, we've got no calculator to do this, so that means the 20 squared bit means we're doing 20 times 20. Now to do a calculation like that without the calculator, so you're trying to do 20 times 20, various ways you can think about that. You can split up your 20 into 2 times 10. Right, for each of them, so you're basically doing 2 times 10 times 2 times 10. You can group together the 2's so that you're doing 2 times 2, and group together the 10's, so you're doing 10 times 10. I mean, in theory you can do this in your head. So you're doing 4 from the first pair times by 10 times 10 is 100. So 20 times 20 is going to give us the answer of 400. So that's this bit of it. So we're trying to do 3.14 times by 400. Now the easiest way to do that is to split this up again and think about the 400 as being 4 times 100. So I would expect to see working for this with your 3.14 times by 4 written up and down the way like that. So you're going to have 4 times 4, 16, 4 ones 4 plus that one's 5, 4 threes are 12. You've got 2 digits after the point, so you need 2 after the point in your answer. So 12.6, but then we've still to multiply by, it was 400. We've only multiplied by 4, so we still need to times by 100. 12.5, 6 times by 100. All the digits are moving 2 places to the left. So your answer, right, would be 1256. And we're going to put that back up here. There is one other piece of information that we need in this, and that is that we need the units to be correct. So we need cm squared, right, centimetre squared. The units are always squared for area. You will lose marks if you don't do this or put the correct units in. So if the units, if the radius is in centimetres, your area will be in square centimetres. So this is what your working needs to look like. You need the formula there, you do the substitution bit, and then any working like this that I've just done at the side here, and then you bring your answer back over here and have the correct units with it. So this is sort of what we need to see, but if it's a non-calculator question, I would also expect to see this type of working at the side as well. That would be evidence to me that you're not using a calculator in a question where you're told to take 3.14 for the pi value. It usually means it's a non-calculator question. So, second question, you were using the pi key this time. So that means you need to go to your calculator to do this, and this gives you loads more decimals when you do this. So invariably with these questions you can be told to round your answer to a specific number of decimal places. So with this one you do begin by writing down the formula, so it's working out the area. So we've got area equals pi r squared, and again if you look at the information that you've been given in the circle, That's the radius that you know, because it's going from the centre point to the edge. So we know that the radius is 5.3. This time it's metres. So when we sub into the formula, this time we're not putting 3.14 here, we're putting pi because it's the pi key we're going to press, and we're just doing that 5.3 squared. You can use your x squared key on the calculator to do that. So if you know how to bring up the pi key times by the 5.3, press the x squared key on your calculator. If you do all that, you will get this value, 88.2473, and a whole load of other digits. You have been told here to round your answer to 2 decimal places, so that's 1, 2. That means we're going up to here with this number. Remember, that means you're using the third digit after the point to help you decide what happens. And because the third digit is a 7, it's more than 5, it means that you're going to be rounding up. So your answer is 88.25. The correct units this time are square metres because the radius was in metres. So it's quite important that you have both lines of working in there, that you have the unrounded number. You don't need to write all the digits on the calculator. Maybe 4 numbers after the point's enough to indicate it keeps going on. And then your rounded answer. And that's it. 4 lines of work in there. Formula, substitute, calculate on the calculator, write your answer down, and then do the rounding and make sure you've got the correct area units that you're looking for. So the next one, right, question 3, calculate the area. This time, again, using the pi key, but this time rounding to significant figures. Now notice in this question, the measurement we've been given is actually the diameter. It's going all the way from one side of the circle to the other. So this time we know the diameter is 64 centimetres, but we're still calculating the area. And we know that the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. So it's the radius measurement that we need. But of course, if we know the diameter, we can work out the radius. Right? The connection between these two things is that the radius is half of the diameter. So if we divide by 2, we can work out that the radius is therefore going to be 32 centimetres, and it's that 32 number that we will use in the formula. So you should have written down area equals pi times 32 squared. You got your calculator. Now this particular one sometimes brings you up, sometimes you get an exact value of pi, which in this case your answer, when you press the equals, it will come up like this, 1024 pi. Now sometimes you can just be asked to leave your answer in terms of pi. However, a lot of the time we are going to be looking at rounding. So if you then press the SD button, you'll get the decimal, which comes up as 3216.9908. Right, I shouldn't have said 99, it's 3216.9908, whole load of other digits. Now this time we are rounding to 2 significant figures. Significant figures is to do with the accuracy. So that's the first significant figure is that 3, the second significant figure is that 2. And you look to the third one, the 1, to help you decide what happens with the second significant figure. Because it's the third significant figure is a 1, it's less than a 5, then the second significant figure does not change. So it remains as it is. However, the answer doesn't suddenly just become 32. It needs to resemble the same sort of size as we had here, but just slightly less accurate. And what you do is you replace your tens and your units with zeros. So what we're saying is that 3216.99 and all the other digits is approximately 3200. And of course the units here for area would need to be square centimetres. And that would be it rounded to 2 significant figures. So check your working, make sure yours looks like that. Anything that you got wrong, if you copy down what should be the correct solution.